All right, mic is up. How are we doing this morning? Because it is 3:42 in the morning, so it is morning. I'll probably fall asleep after this with any luck. Today, I'm going to be doing something a little different, and I'm not playing any of my own content. What? Let's flip it. Yeah. So the Cycle 11 CAS nominations are currently up. I think the voting ends for them in 5 weeks. You have 5 weeks to test any of the nominated customs. So that one person says 2 weeks, one person says 5 weeks. I'm assuming 5 weeks. And the moment I start talking, my cat decides she wants to howl at me. Yes, kitty, I'm streaming. Thank you. So, yeah, I'm deciding this time to not play any of my stuff. Which will be interesting because I usually play my own stuff because I don't want to think about too much when I'm playing. My stuff, I know what I'm doing. So, of course, I'm going to play test against Claw because Claw is one of my go-tos. And I'm going to be play testing. I pretty much grabbed two random names that are currently up in this cast cycle. One of them being Persuasion by Kaji, who you've seen on my stream before. We're currently in the middle of a Thunderbolts campaign, my Thunderbolts campaign to be exact. That it's been like 2 weeks since we've done one for him, mainly because I was hurt the last couple weeks, and then we just had to get a new session set up. Time zone differences are a hell of a thing, so it is what it is. We'll get back to it hopefully soon. But yeah, one of them is Persuasion, who is made by Kaji. Fun fact: she was also a member of the Thunderbolts. In fact, she was a member of the worst Thunderbolts comic run, which was Mayor Cage's Thunderbolts, which were led by Hawkeye, and that run was awful. It was just absolute garbage. It is. I went through and read all the Thunderbolts comics, and outside of the 7-issue run that they had after, it would be right before the new Thunderbolts comic run, where they had that just like weird random 7-issue run where it had nothing to do with the Thunderbolts at all. It was like somebody bought the Thunderbolts IP for 7 issues ish and put their own damn characters in it. That was awful. That was the worst one. This is the second worst one that she was part of. So I'm vaguely familiar with Persuasion. I know she's one of the Killgrave girls, aka the Purple Man. That's all I really know about her. She's got powers that she can use to like hypnotically induce people to do things against their will. So she's a bit weird character, but that's pretty much all I really know about her. At least she doesn't have the Thunderbolts trait because, again, worse Thunderbolts comics. And then pairing with her again randomly, we got BerettaBeast's Coriander, aka Starfire. As little as I know about Persuasion, I know probably equally less about, or equally not as much about Starfire. The Teen Titans were a little bit after my time of viewing cartoons. I know she was prominent in that. Every now and then I see a clip pop up like, "Oh, remember the good old times?" No, I don't remember the good old times. I'm a bitter old man now. So I don't really know too much about Starfire. I looked nothing into Kara Kilgrave's deck because it came with a precon. So I decided, you know what? I don't have to think about anything that's in that deck. Starfire did not come with a precon, so I made one. It is Protection, which is probably not the best way to play it. Her kit seems to indicate that she is best for leadership. She has these things where she wants to find her Titan allies, but with her being able to pull Titan allies from any aspect, it would imply that she should be able to maneuver into other aspects. I have her playing protection because I had to look a bit into her deck while I was building her aspects, and seems to she seems to be able to, she seems to be flexible for starters, but there are cards in there that look like they would be best operated out of a protection aspect. So I figured I'd try that. I am using some of the, well, not some, I'm using like 10 custom Titan allies, or however many were in his bags outside of these 3 cards. I just like pulled a bunch of Titan allies. I was like, screw it. You know what? I'm a person who is all for using custom aspect cards to test custom content, as long as I know what it does before I'm putting it in here. So I like looked over, a lot of them are just reskins. I think I added 2 of them that were in these bags that were not just reskins, they were actual custom cards. Also, hats off for having a lovely little playmat to play with. Always respect that. Also, Kara Kilgraves has this counter. From what I did see on her, she will steal encounter cards or something like that. So let's get on into this. 6. Hope. What are you doing here, Hope? And then she's got a 6-card hand size as well. How does she not have a Titan in her starting hand? Also, I did notice one weird thing when setting this deck up. As soon as I look through what I'm keep here. Yeah, I'll keep it. Oh, I usually don't like just doing 1 card, but I'm doing 1 card. Okay, so she has this thing where she has the aerial trait. She can generate a wild resource. After she plays an ally, she gains an aerial trait. Okay, so she wants to have a lot of allies so she can get aerial. Let's make this one a little pip higher. That's understandable. She has a second state, and all that second state is doing is adding aerial to her. It is the same card. Why? Like, there's nothing in her set that changes her form. It's just, I guess if you have the aerial trait, go ahead and switch to this form. Enjoy the new picture. Enjoy having aerial on the card. It's a bit of a choice. I do like the art on this a lot, but I don't really know why that was necessary. There's no insert in here to say why that exists. So, like, the only thing that's left in the bag is the original copy of the board that I had to import. So yeah, I don't know. I do not know why. Why oh why? Let's look what we got here. Double the number of resources each encounter card generates. Place one encounter card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. Scimitar. So all you need is 3 encounter cards in your deck to get this to max out. All right. Sorry for going silent there. I had to take a swig of a drink. Psionic. I'm not the biggest fan of Hope Summers. I'll just grab a new card. Garscape. It's either Kara or Kara. I usually go with Kara. Play another persuasion card. All right. Any other setup here for Claw? Discard cards in the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that into play. Engage the first player. This is not shuffled. So minion, right? Yep. Also, we're going to start with Kara Kilgrave as first player. If you spend a mental resource, shuffle one identity specific card from your discard pile into your deck. Well, that's not useful right now. All right, Persuasion. Not to be confused with Pretty Persuasion. All right. I have decisions. I have decisions. Because Scimitar is good. I want to get the Purple Children out. There's a counter card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. Some counter card in your hand. It's such a weird wording, but I also... It's one of those things I can't tell if that's correct or not. Such a weird way of putting it in there. So does this start with threat? No. All right. So I want to get her cape out, and I want to get Scimitar out. So I will both of these to get... I think I'm going to get more value out of Scimitar early on, because there's going to be a lot of psionic in here. I'm going to remove 2 threat from Scheme, and then my turn. Starfire. So I'm going to search the top 3 cards for Titan Ally. I have Miss Martian. And then shuffle. Alright, so I want to get Titan's Academy out. I want to get Soaring Attack Acrobatics out. I want to get her... I want to get all this out, really. This is rough. This is rough to have all the good cards in my hand. So I'm going to play 3 to get this. I might just pay these 2 to get Starbolts. Did not have Aerial, which is going to suck. So this is useless for now. Use this to tag somebody for 1, which is what I'm going to do. Actually, I do 2 damage, so I might as well just attack him on my own. Apparently, I was 1 far down on my... So I'll defeat this guy. I'll just kill him with Starfire. And then I'll instead tag the villain for 1 hit damage here. And that 1 turn, I'll draw up. She can have up to 4 Titans from outside of her aspect, so even though she's protection, hey, look, Kid Flash. 2, 3, 4. All right, 2 attacks Persuasion, who I think we'll just take it. That's early game. Let's take 5 fucking damage. Ow. I'm already gonna have to flip her. Attacks over here on Starfire, who is not drawing. Not drawing it. I'm just gonna take it. Rude. 2 damage. Counter and encounter. On schemes for 3. Encounter, search, encounter. Each master has been a minion. There's new master's evil minion. So we search encounter deck and discard pile for our master's evil minion. It's probably gonna be Melter. He's usually the basic bitch here. With the power to melt. Yeah, let's get Melter. On to Starfire, who is in a bad place right now. Let's get... God, I want these cards in play. Let's get Kid Flash. So I get Aerial until the end of the turn. Oh wait, this can be used on an ally, so I will use that on a freaking ally. Remove X threat from among schemes as I choose. Or X is an article and number remains engaged with me +1. So 3 divided how I choose. 2 and 3. Kid Flash will attack Melter for 1. I will practice maneuver. So I ready an ally. That ally is defeated by consequential damage this round. I ready a Starfire upgrade I control and shuffle it into my deck. So I will deal 2 damage to the weapons runner, which will defeat it. I have Aerial. Kid Flash will deal 1 damage to Melter. Get defeated. Ready an upgrade I control and shuffle him into my deck. That is a lot. This right here will deal 2 damage to Melter. And oh, that's right. I can generate energy or wild resources. So I'm going to spend this for Nerves of Steel. And that'll in turn not produce Persuasion. I want to get this to get Purple Rain. Not to be confused with Chocolate Rain. So I can discard encounter card from my hand and exhaust Purple Rain to draw a card. And encounter cards don't count towards my hand size. Cool. I need to draw or get encounter cards in my hand somehow. Get her cape out, which I honestly should have played first. So we're going to retcon that a little bit. This is still in my hand because I use a... Just say I did this. So I will remove 2 threat. And then I will spend 2 for the Purple Rain. After I play another Persuasion card, I exhaust this, ready my identity. And then I will remove 2 threat. Then I'm going to flip down because I got fucked up that first turn. And, well, wait, I end up playing Psionic. So I can exhaust this to deal 2 damage to Melter. And that will end turn. Get her or 5. Flip that, please. Thank you. And she gets 5. I have like 9 defense cards in here, and I've drawn one of them so far. So my last 25 cards are going to be great. 1, 2 attacks over here onto Starfire. Taking it for no damage and a random discard. Rude. Schemes against Kilgrave for 4. Please lag. And this. I'll attack again. So I'm getting attacked. I have a base defense of 2. I'm most likely taking damage from this. So the question is, do I defend? Yeah, let's do it. Let's defend. See if I stop it. 1 damage, which means 1 threat gets placed on main, and I take 1. And then this asshole retaliate. That's what he needs, is retaliate. All right, first player. Two for the mansion, which I want to immediately use to heal 1 damage from Clara. Heal for 3 more. Flip. I can set up for the future with Helicarrier. Let's get Helicarrier out. So I'm going to go ahead and use Helicarrier to reduce the cost of the next card Starfire plays by 1. Can't get Superboy out. I don't have one of everything. I can momentum shift to heal by 2, deal 2 damage, then take 1 damage immediately back. Hard to ignore might be the best option for free. Yeah, let's get hard to ignore for free. So I can remove 3 threat from the scheme. Yeah, let's do it. Let's remove 3 threat here. I'm wasting some threat generation, but in the same way how she's... Did I just remove 4? I just did just remove 4. She's not drawing her protection, and she's drawn... Well, she's actually drawn 3 allies in 3 turns. So that's not an overly bad rate. I still don't know how she's supposed to be getting cards on the bottom of her deck. Again, I didn't look into her at all because she had a precon. I was like, screw it, let's go into it blind. Let's experience this. 5. I feel like that is this from Thunderbolts? Because I remember there being a moment where a bunch of criminals are trying to break out of like a little like rehab building. I can't even remember if she was actually there for that event. She didn't do a lot in that series. Nobody did a lot in that series. It was just an awful series. It was god fucking awful. 2 attacks persuasion. Do I want to block this? You know what? Starfire will block it. We'll use... Nope, not hard to ignore him. Let's use Nerves of Steel to play Desperate Defense to block for 4. She doesn't have Retaliate. So she blocks all the damage, which means she readies and removes 1 threat from a scheme. And then attacks Starfire. Now I cannot today, but I kind of want to get this out into play. I want to keep Beast Boy around, so I think I'm actually going to take this one. Yeah, let's take it. For no damage and toughness on Claw. Encounter and encounter. So all in all, that was a decent round of blocking. Whirlwind. Kill him. What's actually, let me look at what the other option does on this. Discard each ally you control. If no allies are discarded this way, discard against Surge. Oh. Alright, Coriander. Well, since I'm down here, let's look at the top 3 and get an ally. Alright, so hold on, let me do some math real quick. Since I gotta shuffle the deck anyways. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 8 Titan allies. Did I double count one of them? One. There's no allies in this top row. No allies in the second row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 2 in my Discord pile. So yeah, 8. 8 of them. Like the top 3 don't get an 8. I've only come across 3 so far. So, oh man, I can get Beast Boy out. Which I might want to do because it'll give me Aerial. So let's do it. Let's do this. Let's generate the wild. Get Beast Boy in. Which gives me Aerial. So I will Starbolt for 2, which sucks. Beast Boy for, oh man, if I Beast Boy, he actually dies. But then I can just play him again from my hand. Do I want to have him remove for threats? I don't have one of everything. Oh, I do have one of everything. Oh, but defense and conditioning. God damn it. Also, how did I play Beast Boy? I was supposed to use this. I don't have one of everything. Beastie Boy will remove 1 threat. And I can't play anything in my hand. End turn. So, actually, you know what? We're going to borrow the Helicarrier and get defensive conditioning in. So we're up to 14 max health. Over here. Ah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, depth focus. Depth focus. I like meat and education, but I don't find it to be the valuable card here. This for superpower training might be a bit late in the game for this, but we'll go with it. Move 2 threats from superpower training. This guy's just going to be in here because she does not have attack. I mean, I could have him attack himself for 4, but that's not going to be enough to defeat him. So that is a line from Thunderbolts. Really, your earrings get a card. You know what? Characters have crowns that get cards, and those crowns don't do anything. Those are just earrings. 1, 2. Attacks over here on my buddy. Uh, they're hard to ignore. Do I defend this with the Beast Boy, or do I block it? I think I will Nerves of Steel to Not Today. So I'm blocking for 5, and I'm taking no damage by a lot. I remove, is it 2 threat from main or just 2 threat from any scheme? From a scheme, so we'll remove it from here. 1 threat from main scheme. And that will end turn. To Persuasion. Beast Boy will chump block this attack, which is enough to defeat him, but he can be played again. Then he attacks everybody for 2. We get encounter and encounter. I can't do either of these. I literally cannot. So it has to whiff. It is not available to me to do the other option. Oops, I'm not flipping that. Oh, this fucking card. Upgrader, support I control on. Over here. Oh, actually, no, wait. It was cutoff guard that did that, so I can Pheromone Emission. When a boost card is... Oh, this isn't a boost card. Shit. That's an encounter card. Ah, never mind. Never mind. What's this? Upgrade. Hero form only. Attach to non-elite minion. Attach minion cannot activate. When attached minion would be defeated, place on the bottom of your deck. Psionic. Let's take over here. I mean, there's nothing stopped me from keeping this fucker in for the rest of the goddamn game. Actually, wait, hold on. Do I want to play these 2 for this? So yeah, let's pay these 2 for this first. And then I play that. Exhaust this. Oh wait, shit. Let's remove 2 threat. Alright, hold on. I need to start this turn again. I'm so bass backwards right now. This is my hand. Okay. I was not exhausted. Alright. Get a hold of myself. I know I'm playing 2 decks that I really don't know that well. So let's do this again. I'll start my turn by removing 2 threat. This is gone. Each player may search your discard pile for an identity-specific upgrade and put it into play. Do I have an identity-specific upgrade? No, all I have are identity-specific events. So this is one of those things where, all right, we're gonna take this back. All right, so let's do this real quick. I'm going to, and you put it into play. Search your deck and discard pile. Okay, hold on. I don't know why I only thought it said discard pile. What am I doing with my life? Why did I spread this? I don't even know why I shuffled it. Identity specific upgrade and put it into play. So that's an identity specific. That's an identity specific. So we're putting in the resource generation. It goes in for free. All right. And then she gets an identity specific upgrade, which So defense after you defend an attack initiated against another character, draw one card. Remove one threat from the scheme too if you have a. Ooh, these are both. I think I'll take Light the Way actually. All right, so that required me to be exhausted because I thwarted that. All right, we've essentially started this turn over again. So I want to get her earring into play. So I pay these two to get her earring into play. After I play another persuasion card, I'm gonna put that. I don't know where I want to put all these. Just so many fucking upgrades. After I play another one, I ready my identity. So I'm ready now. I will remove 2 threat from a scheme. She doesn't have any additional threat removal that I'm not thinking about it right. I can actually keep this in my hand and use Helicarrier and Depth Focus to pay for this. Which I think I might do. Use this. So I cannot activate anymore. Which means I can't even make it punch itself in the dick if I wanted to. Or do I want it to punch itself in the dick? Ooh, decisions. Played a card of mine, so I get to draw a card. I'm going to use Power of the Mind to Psychic Assault to deal 3 damage. Confuse. I take 1 back and retaliate. Scimitar happens for 2 damage, which retaliates me for 1. Flip. X-Mansion to heal 1. And I will end my turn. So that was a longer turn than it needed to be because I confused the hell out of myself for no fucking reason. What are we doing? Main scheme 3. And he's not. This is for defense. This is for defense. This is going to go over here because I don't need to remember it anymore. I mean, getting hard to ignore is a good thing. But getting an ally is a better thing. So let me. Titans with me. I kind of don't need this right now to get Jin into play. To play an ally, I gain aerial. Now that I have the aerial trait, I can generate a wild resource. I'll generate a wild resource to get hard to ignore into play. And because I have aerial, 2 damage with range, and then 2 threat remove. What does she do when it comes to play? So she got on deck for treachery and discarded. All right. Well, let's look at the 2 cards. Why is it so hyper zoomed in? I hate it when it does that. I just hate it so much. I mean, he's about to deck out no matter what happens. Either of them have boost effects. I'm not going to do it. I'm not worried about it. Then yeah, she removes 1 threat from main. And ends turn. 4 cards. Stop punching yourself in the dick. All right. 1, 2. Tries a scheme but is confused and then attacks over here onto Starfire. Starfire. I'm actually going to defend. His Nerves of Steel with Desperate Defense to defend for 5. Yeah, defend for 5. Defend for 5. No damage. Love of God game. Take no damage, which means they're ready. Hard to ignore to remove 2 threats. Encounter and an encounter. Masters of Evil minion. He can't attack, so this has to happen. Search encounter deck for a Masters of Evil minion and put into play. Engage with the first play with you. So this is you. Melter, the power to sit there and get his ass kicked. Oh, he's gonna punch himself in the dick so hard. This guy with guard. All right. So I lose my aerial. Dun, 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 dun. 2, 3, 4. Crush. So I get the aerial traits. Crush will hit Melter for 2. I will hit Melter for 2. Actually, I don't really need to do that because Kara can kill him. I'll hit for 2 and hit for 2. Wait, he's got toughness, so I can't actually defeat him right now. Can I? Toughness and guard. So yes, I'll still hit him for 2. To knock the toughness off. I will then... I guess I'll just double up and kill him. Double up, Remove 2 threats. There's actually no threat for me to remove anything. So that it whiffs. That does nothing. Princess of Tamaran. I can generate a wild resource, but I can't get this into play. End turn. All right. We're doing this. We are doing this. Wait, hold on. Let me heal for 1. I will mute an education to choose 2 identity-specific cards in my deck and shuffle, or in my discard pile, shuffle them in the deck. I draw 1. So let's get this, and let's get more dick punching power. Hey, Kaji, how's it going, man? Yeah. So far, I'm playing Persuasion. I'm vaguely familiar with her because she was part of the Thunderbolts for 5 or 6 issues. It was the second worst Thunderbolts comic run in the entire series. It was awful. So I'm vaguely familiar with her. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to convince Melter to punch himself in the dick. I'm going to use Deft Focus and Helicarrier. Yeah, I can tell because it does look very familiar to the Thunderbolts. In fact, I think this one right here, this picture of who is this? Was this what's his name? Abomination from the Prison Breakout one. You deleted her Thunderbolt badge? Oh, that is rude. That is rude. Yeah. Because I know the quote is definitely from Thunderbolts. So we're going to have Melter attack himself. He's got 3 attack, plus 2. If a minion is defeated this way, which Melter is defeated this way, He goes to the bottom of my deck. Played Psionic card, so we will actually hit Whirlwind for 2, because he's got that on him. You want her to be from the Alpha Flight? That's understandable. Toe-to-toe in this deck. Really want me to get it? Oh, wait, I can't actually do that without flipping. So let me actually heal for 3, flip, and then have him punch himself in the dick. And then this procs and this procs, which readies me and draws me a card. Velvet Horde. Let's Velvet Horde. So I have 1 in here. Oh, so I'd only be able to remove 1 or 2 threats from a non-existent scheme. So I don't know why I'm doing that. Let me then spend 1 and toe-to-toe to Cybo attack for 4 damage with ranged. So do not get retaliated. But yeah, if you weren't here for the beginning of the stream, Kaji, I essentially just went down the list and grabbed 2 random names, not knowing who made them. And one of them just happened to be your Persuasion. Honestly, kind of didn't remember that she made Persuasion. Oh yeah, I need to mark down that she has a single encounter card. So this does nothing right now. Yeah, I think I'm going to end my turn there. So yeah, ready. And then I've got her, of course, with BerettaBeast Starfire as well. So draw 4. Cool, more defense. I know what she needs. Ready, and 1, 2, 3. Actually, you know what? I don't think I want toe-to-toe, so I'll draw another card. 1, 2, 3. Activates against Starfire, who kind of does not give a crap. We'll have Crush Block. So, oh wow. Thank you. The second time Sonic Converters come up as a boost card to absolutely crush a poor character. Actually, you know what? I can do this on anybody. So let's pheromonal emission it. The boost card's turn face up, cancel the boost card and all its boost icons and place it on the bottom of the deck. So that just does 1 damage then, and she does 3 damage back. Yeah, 3 damage back to the villain. Yeah. And then attacks Persuasion. I think I'm just going to take this. I'm at full health. As long as he's going to attack, just 2 damage. And then encounter and encounter. Radioactive. Surge. Hero attacks if this deals damage. Well then. She does not have defense, but she does have a actual defense here of 3. Does she chump? Yeah, she'll actually Jin will block this. So if this attack deals damage, place 1 point in the main scheme. It is going to do damage. She'll block. It's 3. She's got a defense of 3. For no damage, we give him a tough, and she gets this. He does not activate. And he does not place one threat, so we're on to first player with Persuasion. So this one I'll remove 4 threat. So I can do that. I could have somebody punch themselves in the dick again. It'd be pretty funny. Oh yeah, both hard ignores would go off, wouldn't they? Because she took no damage. That's good call out there, Kaji. I usually don't play a lot of hard ignores in my deck, but I saw use for it in here. So I can get either weapon runner to kill themselves. I can't get radioactive man to kill himself this turn. So what I'm gonna do here. There's a lot of purple on these cards. Actually, wait, there's only one threat out there, isn't there? Yeah. I'm not removing 4 threat off of 1 threat. These decisions, right? If I make him punch himself in the dick, he does himself 4 damage. I could actually kill him in this turn, but I would need to play the Sonic first. So, you know, let's do this. I'm gonna the Violet Horde. Oh yeah, can use the ability here. So he uses the ability, then I'm doing 2 damage to him. Then I make him attack himself, that is 4 more damage, and then I would need 1 more damage coming from somewhere. The 1 more damage from Scimitar would come after I do that, so I would not get this. I would not be able to tuck Radioactive Man at the bottom of my deck. So what I'm thinking about doing is if I depth focus and Violet Horde to remove, just overdo this, but then I would proc Scimitar for 2 damage. Then I could Violet Commando him, or I could attack him and Violet Commando him, which means that I can use the Violet Command, or Velvet Command, excuse me, to have him finish himself off, and then I get to tuck him. So I think I'm actually going to do that, which is overpay for Violet Horde, or not overpay, but pay for Violet Horde just to do that. That procs Scimitar for 2 damage on Radioactive Man. And then I get my earrings and my cape. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Attack, and then I do that. That way I can use these to ready myself and draw a card. And look at that, Mutant Education. Good card. Good card. Reduced by 1. This. Oh wait, hold on. This is exhausted. Let's hit him for 1 more. Yeah, hit him for 1 more because it says +2 attack. 1, 2 for Velvet Command. Basic hero ability instead of basic. I don't know. Either way, yeah, I keep forgetting that exists. I am so ingrained in not replacing basic attacks with other things that exhaust me to attack. Either way, we hit him with the Velvet Command, and he gets stuck. Stop making sense in my chat, Gaji. I know what you're saying. I think either way, this still requires the same amount of actions for me to do it, though. I can flip down. I think I'm actually going to flip down for one simple reason. I'm going to expansion, heal myself by 1, immune education, to get 2 identity specific cards from my discard pile into my deck, which I'm going to grab my thwarts and all the dick punching I've ever wanted. Shuffles and a draw. Kind of not what I wanted here, but it's all right. I also just have homeboys sitting here doing nothing. Starfire. All right, Starfire has decisions to make. She's currently sitting at 3 defense. If I play this, she's at 4. An armored vest then just becomes a luxury. I want to get Kid Flash in. So these 2 for Kid Flash, which will give me Aerial. Actually, I don't have to spend both of these. I'll keep Momentum Shift because I can use Titans with me. I have Aerial now, which means that Starbolts will deal 2 damage to an enemy. Let's just kill this guy. Light the Way does nothing because there's nothing for me to remove threat from. And then he could remove more threat, but there's nothing to remove threat from. Let's hit Homeboy for 1. Oh yeah, there's 3 encounter cards in here. I forgot about that. Do I want to? Yeah, actually, you know what? I want to have Jin sacrifice herself to finish off the weapons runner, so I can free up space for more ally plays here. I'm sitting on 2 resources that I can't, or not 2 resources, a card that I can't use and 2 cards that I can't use. So we're done. 5. Whoops, excuse me, 4. Raven. Oh, 4. She's an alter ego. And his cards do not count against my hand size limit, which means I get to draw another and another and another. And then they also will be count as 2 wild resources each. Now, after I spend them, they do go back into his deck, though, right? How do the new rules interact with that? Where do they put that in the rules? That's a new thing. So for a player, it's just not under reveal, right? What is the official ruling on cards that come from out of deck? Because It's not under ownership control, is it? If a card is discarded from a player's hand, it is placed in center's discard pile. So when you spend it as a resource, that counts as you discarding it, right? So after I spend these, I do lose them. That's what I'm assuming. All right, let's get on with this. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. 1, 2, 3. Schemes for 3. Attacks. Crush will block. So she takes enough to defeat her. And she also does damage back to him, which will knock off tough. Thank you, Crush. Your sacrifice. I don't even know who you are. Encounter. On schemes. Ooh. Getting up there for just 2. Okay, game, please. Let me take that. Thank you. Now the villain attacks her. Well, this needs to stop. I do not have defense cards, just have the regular 4 defense. I will defend and take no damage, which means this procs, this procs. First player. Titans with me, Genius to get Raven into play. I have Ariel. Remove 2 threat. Actually, wait, is this the one with the... No, remove 2 threats. I will then spend 2 to focus Starbolts and exhaust Starbolts. This does 8 damage and gains overkill. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got ranged as well, so don't get retaliated against. Do I flip face down? I will ping this guy for 2. Do I flip face down? Will Kara be able to? Yes, Kara can remove plenty of threats. Actually, these are no longer in my deck. They're in my hand, which means that this is down to nothing. This is 0. This does not remove threat anymore. We'll use this to heal me by 1. I'm going to flip, which means I now get my resource generation. I have all these resources and I can't do jack shit with it. So these count as 2s. So to play another position, so discard 1 to draw. And place 1 encounter card in your hand on the bottom of my deck. Okay, so that's a good way to get it back. So let's do that then. Let's exhaust this to get Sonic Converter on the bottom of my deck. Which means I now have 1 in my deck, which means it's going to remove 2 threat. I will spend Radioactive Man. Since he counts as 2 resources. To play team building exercise. I will exhaust this to get rid of the melter to draw a card. Toe, which is not important to me at all. I just have the one card that's in there. There's nothing for me to place this on. I can't force him to attack himself. This is responsive. This is only 2 threat removal, which wouldn't be a bad idea to get it all the way down to 0. So do I want to get it down to 0? I'm about to deck out and get it back in my deck anyway, so let's do this. Removes 2. I'll hit him with that. He retaliates against me because I just absolutely refuse to get rid of his retaliate. Moves on to the next stage, which means he gets the Immortal Claw out. Which means his health is at 46, if I remember correctly, because it's, isn't it 18? Yeah. I do have one of everything. Generative Fist, a mental, and an energy to drop this off. So we can stop the retaliate bullshit. Probably should have done that earlier, but you know what? I'll take responsibility for my stupidity. Did I play a persuasion card this round? Yes, I did. I played Valid Horde, which means I draw a card and would ready myself. I get an encounter. I very briefly forgot what the hell I was doing there. So I have 2 wild resources again. And again, still nothing to do with it. So might as well keep it in my hand for the next time. In that case, I will remove 2 threat from the Immortal Claw and end her turn. Ready, draw hands. I'm actually going to keep her hand as is. I'm not going to discard anything. Professor Charles Xavier. 1, 2, 3, 4. Attacks over here. Do I have a new replacement? Oh my goodness, I'd have to get rid of my whole hand. I do still have Aerial, so I will Nerves of Steel into... I'll take it from here to defend without exhausting, which means I have 6 defense. And it deals no damage to me, it deals no damage to me. These both proc to remove 2 threat from the main scheme, right? Main scheme. And tax persuasion. I can defend for 4 on this. I'm going to. Let's defend for 4. Oh yeah, and I have retaliate. I keep forgetting that I have retaliate. Defend for 4. I take no damage again, but I can't hard to ignore it. After you defend an attack and initiate against another character, I draw a card. So at least I get to draw a card. I take no damage. And then encounter and deck out. And encounter. All right. first things first. Defense network. Do yourself the topmost encounter deck as a face down encounter card, or remove this from the game. Alright, I can't do that right now. Ooh, it happens so rarely in my games. Daddy. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Place some additional threat here for each encounter card in Persuasion and player deck. Well, it's actually currently 0, so it's at 3. Choose when revealed. Choose either spend immense resource or do yourself the topmost encounter card and Persuasion player deck as a face down encounter card. Well, I'll choose. I have to be able to do one of them, so I do have to spend the mental. Actually, let's get rid of Professor X. And then this. I'm in hero. I take 2 damage, and I heal him by 2, which heals him by 1. All right. Kilgrave. I have no cards in my deck. I can make Purple Man punch himself in the dick. That would be pretty funny. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. First, as an action, I will deal myself the topmost encounter card in my deck as a okay, so I don't actually have any in here. So shit, I can't actually do that. I can make Purple Man punch himself in the dick. That'd be pretty fucking hilarious. You know what? Let's do it. Spend these 2 to Velvet Command. He attacks himself +2. I'm not even going to bother putting him in my deck because I'm immediately going to use this Iron Duty to get him as a face down encounter card. Oh shit, these are supposed to get shuffled in. And that was a psionic, so scimitar happens. You know what? Let's defeat this guy finally. Let's put him out of his fucking misery. I have 1 on my deck now. Oh yeah, shit. I keep forgetting that I should probably do this first. So 2 threat, and then from this I would ready, and then from this I would draw a card. Oh my god, I can make him punch himself in the dick again. Remove 2 threat, which essentially does 10 damage. Alright, Starfire. Raven will deal 2 damage to Claw. I will spend 1 2 3 for Crush. I will practice maneuver to ready an ally, Raven. Raven will then attack for 2, defeating herself with consequential damage. I ready a star. Ooh, I should do this first. Let's remove 2 threat from a scheme. Now this readies an upgrade I control and shuffles Raven into my deck. There are some older things I need to like get down pat. Again, I kind of grabbed the Starfire blind, so a lot of this is on me right now. Hit for 2. Remove 2. Let's end turn. Starfire hasn't been an alter ego for like the entirety of the game here. All right, this. It's all her cards. It's only her cards. All right. Attacks. Taking it. Pheromone Emission to cancel the boost icons and place this one on the bottom of the deck. It's not an important card to do it to, but I just want to get something down there. So 1 damage. Attack Starfire. Starfire will have Crush Blockets. I will Pheromone Emission again to take this one away. Which means that Crush is only taking 1 damage and dealing 3 damage back to the villain. There are now 3 cards in my deck. Encounter and encounter. Hey, Purple Man. I have to choose to either discard. Let's discard toe-to-toe. This fucking card is back. Of course it is. Garden Tough. First player. One. And then all this to get Wonder Girl. So I get Ariel. I will have Kid Flash knock the tough off of the guard. Sorry, Kid Flash. I will deal 2 damage to Purple Man. Actually, no, it doesn't matter because Purple Man's about to punch himself in the dick. I'll deal 2 damage to the villain and get retaliated against. I will Starbolt for 2 damage with range. I'll light the way. Oh, this is gone. For 2 threat. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and deal it out to her now. She should have an extra encounter card because I forgot to get the extra encounter here. From there. Flip. Actually, I have Ariel, so I can generate a wild resource. Let's generate a wild resource to play this. Flip. Let's search the top 3 for Titan. Raven. I accidentally pressed the X button on my game. I want to press the X button on the search window and accidentally press it on the game window. That's what the latest save was. How very unprofessional of me. I play this game in windowed mode. For some reason, I just want to play it in windowed mode. I don't like having this puny little game in full screen. So I am now back at the start of the player phase, it looks like. No, I am not. I am at the Okay, I'm at the end of the villain phase. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and resolve the encounter card that Persuasion should have gotten. Weapons Runner, which surges into Radioactive Man. That sucks. This guy comes out, he gets toughness again. On first player here, I will then spend 1, 2, 3, 4 on Wonder Girl. We're doing this all over again. I now have the aerial trait, which means I get to put Titan Academy in. I will then Kid Flash. Let's knock his stuff off. I will attack and then hit for 4 to get this guy out of my way. I will remove, this has to be discarded, 2 threat from here. I will flip down. I look at the top 3. Raven should still be there. Oops, I looked at the whole deck. Raven was at the top anyways. Shuffle. And end her turn. All right. I was very easily able to get back up there. So, going to Death Focus, Helicarrier, to Velvet Command, to make my daddy punch himself in the dick and kill himself. He goes to the bottom of my deck, which means I should have 4 on the bottom, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. I can't Lavender Takeover. If I could Lavender Takeover Radioactive Man right now, that'd be so cool. Also, the draw a card, and let's say I remove 2 threats, so I can ready myself as well. Ready myself, draw a card. Radioactive Man, you're out of this game for the remainder of time. I might not even do anything with you anymore. You can't activate anymore. And then I'm going to remove another 2 threat and end my turn. Yeah, draw 5 here. Game, please. Game. Oh, I'm not seated. Ha 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 ha. So near pressing 5 to draw 5 cards. Because I closed my game, I wasn't seated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Oops, just regular schemes. 4, 3. Attacks over here. Just gonna get hit for. I'm gonna take the 1 from this either way, so I'm just gonna knock that off. Kid Flash is dead, by the way. Let's have Crush jump or block this for me. So I'm going to Pheromonal Emission to steal my brother. Got 5 cards in here. So she just takes 1 damage and then does 2 damage back. And then encounter and encounter. Let's go Surge. Which minion attacks the hero it is engaged with. So 1 damage from Weapons Runner. And this guy. First player. So let's spend 1 on the Velvet Horde to remove 6. Nobody has patrol. I will then I'll have hit him for 1. Actually, no, I'll hit him with the, which is 5 damage. So let's actually hit Tiger Shark for 5. And then I remove the threat so that I can ready myself and draw a card. I need to do the order properly on his damn cards, our damn cards. Also this procs deals 2 damage to Tiger Shark and kills him. I will then Power the Mind to Cybo attack. 4 damage with range. I will then this and this Cybo attack for 4 damage with range. I will then do the Exhaust Persuasion for each card of my counter deck, 5 cards. I hit it by 1 for Retaliate. I'm going to flip, use Expansion to heal by 1, and give her a free resource. Use my ability, look at the top 3. No allies. Boo. Hiss. I'm booing you, dude. All right. Actually, hold on. That's right. This is a thing. Exhaust Titans, shuffle a Titan ally in my discard pile, and what's damage? So which ally do I want? Well, there's only 1. So we do this first. Shuffles into my deck, and then I look at the top 3. Still nothing. Fantastic. I will heal for 4. Flip. Let's spend this and these 2 for Beast Boy. Which will give me Aerial. I will spend 1, 2 on Focus Starbolt, which I will exhaust Starbolt with it. To deal 8 damage to an enemy, it gains ranged and overkill. So this and 6 damage, which means don't get retaliated against. Also, it's ranged, so it doesn't fucking matter. I will then light the way to... Okay, no threat. I can get Beast Boy killed right now. Let's deal 2 damage to Radioactive Man. Let's deal 3 damage to Radioactive Man. Boom, ding, and turn. Ooh, 2 mutant educations. Hell yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Schemes for 2. Attacks. Nerves of Steel, not today. 6 defense. I take nothing. Remove 2 threat. And then 2 hard to ignores. Remove 2 more threat. Encounter and encounter. Surges. Schemes. Ooh, good thing I removed all that threat. Because it all just came back. I'm in hero, the villain attacks me. Beast Boy should have damage on him. Beast Boy will block it. Does not damage me, so I don't exhaust, and this doesn't do anything. So Beast Boy Dade, which I'm actually completely fine with because I can pay his resource costs, put him back out. Speaking of which, turn over here. I forgot to use Raven's ability last time she was in my hand. 1, 2, 3. I'm burying him here. Beast Boy. because I played him from my discard pile, I heal by 1. I get aerial now, which means that I will deal 2 damage to an enemy with ranged. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. I'll use a wild resource. This is only 2. I mean, I don't know why I'm playing with my food here. Attack for 2. The retaliate happens before consequential. And he attacks for 2. Hooray, Beast Boy, the real hero. All right. All right. I don't want to think about this ever again. You have to get... Oh yeah, that's right. I actually pulled hers earlier. This... I don't know anything about her. Who's her? Blackfire? She's cute. She's cute. This over here. He's over here. So before I begin like my little analysis of all the cards, let me just say that I didn't play either of these decks as well as I could have, because I am usually, whenever I two-hand, I always like to have one deck be one of my own, so that I can kind of zone out on that deck and not have to worry about everything that is happening. But I decided to playtest 2 different heroes. That weren't mine, because in my opinion, everybody else's content is better than my own, and I play my own all the time anyways. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 15. Okay, and then her. None of these are hers, so we can just group these all. This. This can come down here. So yeah, and then I forgot that I had team building exercise for a lot of that game. Hey, little guy. Hey, purple man. Your daddy. Nice indulgence. Gonna go here. So there are, while I set this up, let me talk a little bit about Kara Kilgrave. There are some similarities to what she does to what I was going to originally do with Lila Cheney, where I was originally going to have Lila Cheney have to keep track of how many cards she had in her deck, but that was having characters keep track of how many of something they have where they cannot actually see it was a bit much for me to ask players to do, I felt at the time. But she went ahead and did it in this. Yours is easier than what mine was going to be, because mine was going to shuffle those cards into her deck. Actually, they'd be in her discard pile and then get shuffled into her deck when the deck cycled through. So I was originally going to ask players to keep track of how many. Actually, it would have gone into the encounter deck, and then you'd had to keep track of how many were in the encounter deck. Excuse me. I had to remember what she did there. I decided against that, because keeping track of that it could be a little bit much to ask players to do. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, 4 of them. 7, so 11, 13, 15. Okay. What do I think of her cards? Let's go through them. I didn't use this. I just didn't have a lot of purpose for it. I spent a lot of the game on both characters in hero form. I would say I'd like to see the image on it centered better. I know she's a character who doesn't have a lot of comic appearances. It's like, how many appearances does Kara Kilgrave have? Kara Kilgrave has, it's got to be under 100. Usually characters with under 100, it's going to be kind of rough. 76 appearances. Characters that have under 100 tend to have some issues finding resources for them, unless they're one of the so important characters they introduced, like Miss Marvel when she came out and Miles Morales when he came out, were characters that they pushed hard immediately. Kara never got that. So she's been in 76 comics and she's been out for what, a decade plus at this point. Actually, I just moved away from the freaking. She's been out since. Oh, hold on. 1986. She's almost as old as I am. So 76 comics over the course of, 30, 40 years, excuse me, it's 2026, is not a lot. And when you have a character that is that sparingly used, it's hard to get consistent art for them. I know this all too well. Again, Lila Cheney is not a very popular character in their comics. So I understand the art not being great selection for her. She's not centered. I'd try and find a better one. I don't know where you'd be able to find one if you could. Her headshot is excellent. Her color scheme is excellent. I'm sad that you removed her Thunderbolts. How dare you? How very dare you? She's technically still associated with the Thunderbolts, which should not be true at all. Her last group affiliation was Thunderbolts, and Thunderbolts have since done 2 more iterations, and she has not been in any iteration since then. So calling her a Thunderbolt right now would be disingenuous. What else? Let me get back to the table here. I like this. She really benefits from getting something like, what's it called? That 0 cost X-Man card. Or mutant card, I mean. Mutant Education, which will help her shuffle her deck so she can get these before she gets to the bottom of her deck. Without ways to shuffle her deck, she struggles a little bit because then she just has one big turn where she gets all her encounter cards as resources. So there is some struggle in that. But how do you counter? Do you just shuffle them in there and then you randomly lose them, right? You lose them when you use them. They're no longer in your deck when they're in your hand, so you lose the bonuses to the Violet Horde. So yeah, I do like the fact that even though I misused it a few times, I should have used it more frequently. Her ability to deal 1 damage to an enemy for each encounter card in her deck is good. I like it, actually. It is normally when a deck is made, there is an attack event and a thwart event that play with similar mechanics of each other. Instead of putting the attack event in here, you've given yourself the ability on her hero card and then done Violet Horde. Early game Violet Horde is useless. I would honestly make this remove 2 threats and then remove 1 additional threat for each encounter card in your deck to a maximum of 4 additional threat. That way you at least have some use for it early game. And then it still has the same cap. Early game, this is useless. Later game, when you've started stealing everything, because I went the first four rounds of this game without having drawn, or at least haven't been able to use a single pheromonal emission or velvet commando. So I didn't have anything tucked, or not tucked, but at the bottom of my deck. So I had this was useless to me for until like the 4th or 5th round. Same with her hero ability for that matter. So I would give this a soft amount of damage. Then have it scale up to a maximum of 6 would probably be a better way of doing it. So yeah, this right here, it's good. I won't say it's definitely not great because it holds itself back. I wouldn't say it's weak because it's a 1 cost with possible 6 threat removal. So it's not a bad card by any stretch. Pheromonal emission, good card. I mean, this is really good. She doesn't have a lot of strong cards, so having this do what it does is just really good. I'm gonna move all these down here since I like to separate them into 3 tiers here. Velvet Command, her other event. Yeah, she only has the 3 event types. I love this card. This is just really good. Having read the comic that this is from, and that this is from as well, because that's also Thunderbolt's picture. This is Thunderbolt's picture. I think this might be Thunderbolt's picture. Is this Thunderbolt's? This might be Thunderbolt's. This is definitely Thunderbolt's. Because that's when they're pushing her and that stupid ass Egro to be advertisements for the Thunderbolts. It's such a bad comic run. This right here though, awesome card. I love this. It really helps out getting more cards to your deck. It's key to your mechanic of your deck. There are only 2 of them, and it's a strong card. I think it's pretty fair. The 2 or the 2 of them. The 2 encounter card interaction cards. So encounter cards do not count towards your hand size. You can discard them to draw a card. It doubles the number of resources generated, and you can place one in your hand on the bottom of your deck again. These are both extremely vital to the mechanic of your deck, I think. You can live without this one a little bit because you're still getting at least a wild resource generation. If you have this in your hand, you get them for free. This one, in my opinion, is a bit more valuable than this one. They're both absolutely needed. Core mechanic. Then the 2 cards that are for her playing her own cards. I obviously messed up order quite a bit in this game. I'm playing by myself, so I don't find it that big of a deal. And if I mess up order of operations and it doesn't affect what would happen in the gameplay loop, I don't consider it to be a big deal either. So you saw me mess up quite a bit because I'm trying to keep track of a lot of things happening. Yeah, these are both good cards. I don't know why this one gets a stat boost and this one doesn't. It is clear to me that you value the card draw more than the readying identity because they both cost the same resource. They have the same resource cost. They both have responses to when you play cards, and then this one gives you an additional defense. And so your deck building, you value your drawing a card more than your reading of an identity. I'd say, in my opinion, they're about equal to each other. So this could potentially be a 3-cost card. I definitely wouldn't push these down to either of them to 1 cost. Then straight up just generate a wild resource. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Yeah. Then that takes us to Lavender Takeover. I don't know what to think about Lavender Takeover. I have a similar mechanic on a Rasputin card I have. Where, right here. Yeah, force field. So hero form only attached to it. This one attaches to an enemy. This used to cost 3. And then I made it a temporary thing. So mine might be too strong because it is canceling an activation and giving a tough status. But there's only two of them, right? Yours can remove a non-elite minion from the game for the remainder of time. Actually, another thing about it. Oh, I did fuck up. Oh my god, yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be able to do that to. Oh my goodness, that's on me. Oh, so he wasn't elite. He's elite. Where are the other masters of evil? Because I removed 2 masters of evil from the entire game using this. He's not elite. Who's the other one that is in here? Is he still over here? Whirlwind. Okay, so I did remove Whirlwind one time. Oh, I removed Purple Man. Yeah, I fucked up. Oh my god, that's on me. I was gonna ask whether or not this was too strong, but I accidentally attached it to elite enemies. I attached it to Purple Man once. Or did I attach it to Purple Man? I know I attached it to Radioactive Man. I attached it to. I think I attached it to Whirlwind, who's not elite. So I fucked up half the time I think I used it because I think I only used it twice. I know for sure. Okay, so that's on me. So maybe it's not too strong, but it is a. You can remove a non-elite minion from the game essentially. It doesn't have temporary. It doesn't deal them 1 damage each turn it's on them. It just stays on them for the entire game if you wanted to. Like Tiger Shark not being able to do anything for an entire game, Whirlwind not being able to do anything for an entire game. It's got a lot of, it does have a lot of power to it. I'm unsure whether or not I'd say this should be a 3-cost card or not. It might be fine as it is. It's there's only 2 of them. She does not have a ton of strength. And then it also cancels out, if you put that on an enemy, then you can't make them punch themselves in the dick. So you know what, it might be completely fine. Because they can't attack themselves. They can't activate. So yeah, I think it might be fine. She doesn't have a ton of attack. She needs a ton of setup just to get attack. So yeah, it's fine. It's strong. I'll say it's still strong. But yeah, it's fine. Her minions, it's kind of weird that you had this mechanic with mental resources in 2 areas, and then we never see mental resources brought up again for. That is a weird thing, but it's not a big deal. If you don't have any mental resources in your hand and you haven't built up anything in your deck, then he just whiffs on you. But he is 4 health, 2/2. This is annoying because that means that players have to flip their deck, grab that topmost encounter deck card, and then get it that way. But it's not the biggest deal in the world. That's just annoying when dealing with the mechanics of how Tabletop Simulator is. What's this Jamie do? Same thing. His encounter was not, or not encounter, his side scheme was not overly powerful or anything like that. All in all, I think she's fun. She's a good character. I wish I would have played her better. If I'd have played her alongside one of my decks, I probably would be able to focus more on remembering what she does. But I'm sitting here trying to keep in mind what Starfire and her both do. All in all, I think the deck is really good. I don't think I'd put it up in like my favorites or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination, but it's an all around good deck. Let's move on to Starfire because it's in almost 2 hours. Jesus Christ. Starfire, pretty standard obligation stuff. What you do here? She gets +1 against aerial enemies. Okay. Rough. She's strong. There's one additional threat here for each ally in play. Then each player discards one ally they control. Okay. So that has big whiff potential. Does it do anything while it's in play? Okay, it has crisis. What an insult to have crisis on a card that can possibly have only one threat on it. It's just an insult. Temerian warship. Apparently, their warships are made out of paper mache. They take damage from ranged attacks or attacks while okay. Okay, now I can see why they have 3 health. Apparently, they're sisters or something. Again, I don't know theme. I don't know her theme at all. I don't know this character. I know a little bit of Teen Titans, and that's it. Her cards, I really like this actually. I tend not to like characters who get situational traits. I like, for example, I made Arrow. Arrow doesn't start with Aerial. She gets Aerial through one of her upgrades. While I don't mind that in its concept, I would never build a deck around the Aerial trait because then I'd have to rely on getting that. A lot of her deck requires her to get Aerial, and the only way for her to naturally get Aerial is through playing allies. So she is required to get the best out of her. You want to play an ally every turn. Which in its own is not a bad mechanic or anything like that. It just kind of forces how you want to play your deck. Her alter ego action helps with that, which I say it helps with that. I think I got an ally once. I would work on the wording of that. Search the top 3 cards of your deck for a Titan ally and add them to your hand. It should be added to your hand. Because them implies that you're getting multiple allies. You're not. You're just getting one. So it should be added to your hand, then shuffle. 4 recovery is pretty good for an 11 health character. If she has the aerial trait, then she gets the resource. That is pretty limiting because she has to have the aerial trait before she gets the resource. It does help her play an additional card from her hand, which on its own is not a bad thing. It does limit her a little bit. I don't know if she is so strong to where that it's necessary. Her cards on their own. Let's look at her upgrades first. That's these 4, right? This, honestly, this feels like this should be 2 cost. I know it's giving retaliate, but it's a situational retaliate. I know it gives a wild resource, but it's a situational wild resource. This could be 2 cost. I feel like this is over cost. I remember I was watching Kaji's stream last night or the night before, whatever it was, and it was brought up about some costs for some cards. This one and one character had a lot of cards where they were under costed. This feels like it's overpaid. This could be 2 cost and it'd be completely fine because everything on it is so such. It could almost, honestly, it might be 1 cost because it's all situational. Generate a wild resource for an ally. She gets retaliate only if she has aerial. This could be 1 cost. 2 costs, maybe 1, I should say. This could definitely be knocked down. Titans Academy. I mean, I played protection, so I was only in alter ego once. I'd put this right here because of where I think it's at with its tier. Let's move these down then, since I'm putting them in their tiers. What's our next upgrade? Starbolt. Starbolt only light the way. Awesome cards. I really like both these cards. I like how they interact with her aerial. I like getting ranged, especially against. Just help me ignore his upgrade for the entire game. And whereas Patrol, she can root to threat. They're both just great cards. And I think their cost appropriate because they compare to something like what Ironheart has, where she has the ability to remove X threat depending on what thing she is. But those cost, I think they cost 3 apiece. These costing 2 and being reliant on aerial, I think that's very good. Princess of Tamarin. You gave her the +1 defense after defending against an attack initiated against another character. That ability is only useful in multiplayer, really. Because I don't think you can declare an ally a defender of the attack and then take that declaration away from the ally for yourself, can you? I don't think you can steal the declaration of defense from an ally. What am I talking about? What am I talking? I'm thinking about her. Thinking about the text on her. I'll take it from here. So hold on. Sorry. No, wait. This is the one I'm thinking of. This is after an attack is initiated against another character. Yeah. So unless you have something that's forcing an attack on an ally, you're only getting this in multiplayer. So I was right the first time. I was thinking of this for a moment, but that's just when that's her defend without exhausting. Beast Boy, I liked Beast Boy. The reason I like Beast Boy is because he dies. He dies easily. You get him in your discard pile. You just keep playing him. Titan Academy, I didn't get much of a chance to play this. It's pretty standard though. Shuffle a Titan ally and heal 2, which is a good heal. But I don't think it's overpowered. I think it's completely fine. Playing protection, I didn't get much chance to use it. If I was playing some other aspect, maybe. Focus Starbolt, Starlight Speed. Awesome cards. I really like both of them. Stacking them with these cards, I really like that. Practice Maneuver. Maybe I kind of would put these between the 2 tiers. I know I messed with the timing with them a little bit. Retconned a little bit of timing just to make them work. I like it. I like the card. It's kind of weird to incentivize. I don't normally play leadership decks or decks in general that incentivize you to kill your allies with consequential. So to have a card that incentivizes killing your allies with consequential, I like that. I like how it works. It gives you a good incentive to do it. I take it from here. Awesome card as well. If you're playing protection, it's a lot better to me because if you're playing protection, you probably at least have defense building up to where you don't necessarily have to worry about the +2 defense, and you can just defend without exhausting. Oh no, I mean, I know I'm pretty generous with a lot of times I review other players' content. I do really like this deck. Again, just like Persuasion, she suffers a little bit from me having 2 characters I haven't played before. I probably would have played her a lot better had I put her alongside one of my creations so that I wouldn't be keeping track of so much at once. All in all, I like her. I had fun with her. I think her cards look great. I don't know what I mean, I'm not going to. This might be just a me thing. I'm not going to be switching her state just to keep track of Ariel. I don't see the purpose to that. But to each their own. I mean, that's not if this came up in grading, I wouldn't take points off for her having another form just for Ariel. I mean, if you're doing something like that, then why not just when you switch to this form, if Starfire has Aerial trait, well, she does because it's on her damn card now. Just say generate a wild resource, limit once per round. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not voting for anything in this phase. I don't participate in the pre-nomination or the nomination for the cast cycle stuff. I don't participate in it. There are 37, I think, decks in there. Just hero decks alone, and then there are 15 villain decks in here or scenarios. That's a lot for me to look at. Most all of them I have not played. I'm not going to look at this. I'm not looking at this. I'm not going to review and put in grades for everything. If both of these make it through to the next round, I think they'd both deserve it based off of this one game that I played. They certainly deserve it more than mine. Would I seal them? It's too early for me to say. I'd want more games with them before I even say anything about sealing them. But yeah, all in all, they're fun. If you haven't played either of these, I'd recommend playing them single-handed so you can keep track better than what I did of what you're doing, because I lost track a lot. I don't know why I wanted to look at that. I don't find her attractive. I just want to look at the card again. Because I was distracted by the incomplete 5 on the thing. But that would be something that a company would do just to make a style out of it. We're going to put a 5 on, or an E on, on the, excuse me, on the bottle of perfume. But the E or the 5 or whatever this is supposed to be, it's not going to be completely filled in. So yeah, I think both of these cards are deserving of going on to the next phase of the cast cycle. Of the cast cycle. I enjoyed my time with both of them. They both deserve their nominations. When I my stream there, it's been 2 hours and 2 minutes, and I would have liked to have ended 40 minutes ago on a 2-hand, but it is what it is. With that, have a good night / morning / day, wherever you might be. Keep yourself safe out there with the heat waves going on. Yeah.